don't bother talking to her. But we all know the truth that a car has no real bearing on where you are financially, because some of the richest people drive some of the cheapest things you've ever seen. Let's go.
If you're hopping out of a Honda, like, why are you talking to me? And
damn, dude can't hop out of a Honda and talk to you?
No, hell no. That's a waste of time, and I hate wasting my time.
Why is it a waste of time? You said if he hop out of a Honda, it's a waste of time to talk to you. He shouldn't even talk to you.
What are you gonna do for me?
How do you know what he got going on or who he's gonna be? Hey man, Drake was hopping out of a Honda one day in his life. What's that song he got? What's that song he got when he talked about when he was coming up? He was in a Honda once.
I was in a Honda. I had an Acura 2000. I had a Honda. I had those cars too.
Yeah.
But right now, if you're pulling up trying to talk to me while I'm pumping my gas, you're gone.
Hey, listen, see, and that's the difference. Hey, a woman can hop out of a Honda and come talk to me. It ain't gonna be about what she hopped out in.
You speak to no girl that's coming out of a Honda.
Yes,
you speak to no girl that works at McDonald's.
First off, I'm not just up and speaking to women like that. But let's say a woman hopped out of a Honda to come talk to me. It's not gonna be about what she driving, and it's gonna be about what her mindset is like, how much she like me, what's her character like.
Mindset like with what she's driving, with how she's composing herself. You already could tell.
You know you can't. Listen, let's be real. You cannot tell someone's mindset by the car that they drive, because a car is, we understand that's an easy thing to get and have a $1,200 car payment. But I have the car, I have the status. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at how people convey status, so then you can judge whether or not, you know, they're worthy of your attention, where you believe yourself to be. The problem arises when those things are not barred by anything outside of how much you're willing to pay. If the dealership is willing to sell you any type of vehicle, right? And there's a class of vehicles that, yeah, you're going to need real money to get. But we think that you having a foreign, you having a German vehicle, right? We had the video of the woman with the BMW Mercedes who was putting $15 of gas into it, and she had another 15 for her name so she can go smoke some hookah. Flat tire, just paid her rent late. But your car is nice. That is not the gateway into higher society. But listen, before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss no uploads. Still trying to do 2 a day, still trying to go strong. So growing up, right? This and we're going way back to high school. This is where we first understood, or we first got taught that, hey, listen, if you want her attention, you got to get a car, right? A car is going to be the thing. And that type of idea is, again, from us looking at how the rest of the world is operating. We're seeing beautiful women gravitate towards men in vehicles. So we're thinking very reductively that has to be the key. But the truth is, yeah, there's a certain class of women that's going to be turned on by your vehicle, that's going to give you attention by your vehicle. There's plenty of skits online about the gold digger pranks, the gold digger skits, where he tries to talk to her and then she blows him off, and then they walk by his rented, NSX, his Lambo truck, whatever the flavor of the month is, and then she doubles back. Oh my God. And then she suddenly wants to talk to you. In reality, it's rarely as obtuse as that. But even if it is, the quality of that woman, you have to understand that's probably not someone you're going to take home to mama. But if you're the type, outside of pranks, to simply rent vehicles to get female attention, you're probably not looking for anything long term. You can see that every time you go down to South Beach, every time there's some sort of event, there's a bunch of expensive vehicles that people are renting. Sometimes a group of guys are going in and renting these. This happens in LA a lot of times. Someone will get the loan on the Lambo truck, and it's split 4 ways, and everyone has a week. And that's how they do it. Because the status of looking like this is so important, and that becomes the only way you can get access to other areas in your life, not just women. LA being, certain avenues of employment that you have to look the part, even though you're all struggling, even though you're one accident away from this whole sham falling apart. Or you're down in, South Beach, and you and the bunch of guys that are sharing one room in a hotel all rented one vehicle, because in that world, the vehicle you drive somehow denotes your level of importance. When we now are as adults and we have a better understanding of literacy and finance, when we have a better idea of what happens in rich neighborhoods, and you can go in a lot of these, you can drive by, they'll look at you, they may look at you strange, like you don't belong here, but you'll see very, very mundane vehicles outside of the garages, right? I'm not saying that there aren't expensive cars, there aren't great cars, there aren't collectibles, but sometimes daily drivers, you'll see there'll be a Honda, there'll be something reliable. I've known plenty of men that high net worth individuals. Yeah, this is my daily driver. This thing I let get beat up as I go to and from the office. I don't need to. Real wealth doesn't need to be like, you don't have to scream it. It's a quiet thing. It goes and comes, and if you know, you know. In fact, luxury, goes through little, you can look at it, I wouldn't even call it cyclical, but the more the masses gain pieces of what they consider high status, that too changes. That fashion, that what rich, it just keeps on setting the trend. And so now you've got the big belt buckles, you've got the AP, you've got all this signs of wealth, and now wealth is going quiet. Now it's a quiet brand you still haven't heard of. That's what happens. That just transitions. You're caught up in the loop thinking, if you don't have this vehicle, you can't talk to me. And then with the most profound statement you're saying, you see me, as if that somehow again denotes this reasoning. If we try never to, call out people's looks, but once you open that door, you don't have that look that men are going to say, oh, I need to have a GT3, I need to have a Lambo, in order to talk to you. No, Honda seems fine. Seems reasonable. That cars like that now in this economy, with our understanding of finances and where you should be spending your money, should be looked at as, oh, this person is actually fiscally sound, rather than you have the McLaren and you are now looking at the rest of your life where you've got to pinch pennies, you're sleeping on the mattress, but you can get the baddie, you can pull the baddie, right? What does that matter? What does that matter in not even in the long term, in the semi-long term? In the semi-long term, living this lifestyle that you can actually not sustain is the most ridiculous thing and one of the biggest wealth killers. And again, my point stands, you don't want this type of attention. This is not attention that you should care about from women, because that's just one gateway or like another thing preventing you from talking to her. You have to have this. Okay, what else? How much should I make? What's the expectation I should be spending on you? This type of thinking keeps you, I would hope, keeps men keep these people in a box and put them to the side and say, at most it's for fun, but nothing serious. I don't want my thinking to be polluted by this sort of ideas. This is very childish, right? And not childish, I mean morally immature. You have to have grown. You have to have a better understanding that the real world does not really operate like this. You're being childish and you're going to get left behind. Better to work on your character than thinking that this guy in a Honda or whatever level that is, you can't talk to me. And then to now talk to him about, you wouldn't talk to a woman that was driving this or a woman that was working McDonald's. Again, this is about a level of maturity when you don't understand that, one, you can't speak for a man and what he would or would not do, what's important to him versus what's important to you. You've got this pigeonholed lens going over your eyes telling you that if you don't look at the world the way I do, then I know you're lying. I know you're lying. Women like this should, or people like this rather, should stop focusing on just the material aspect and really just expanding their worldview. Leave your little, comfort zone, travel somewhere else, but travel in the sense that I'm trying to understand more of the world. And you realize very quickly that the rest of the world has a differing opinion on nearly everything. But they still somehow get along. It should widen your gaze, and you should stop thinking that if you don't agree with me, you don't do things my way, then it has to be wrong. This gives you an opportunity to actually grow and, not say foolish takes like this. But if you disagree, if you got something to add, let me know down in the comments. If you see other videos on your screen, take a look at those. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. And of course, if you listen to sound of my voice now, you have not subscribed, I think you should. We're trying to build something dope. See you in the next one.